This is Harry Davies from Air Fighting, and I'm joined by former Cruiserweight World Champion Lawrence Okolie ahead of his return, just under a month away against Lukasz Rozanski. Lawrence, how are you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm all good. How about yourself?
Great, thank you. As I said there, it's quite a while since we've seen you, but it's good to sort of be on the comeback now and just a month away from the return. You had a while at the ring, so you must be itching to get back in there. Not on UK soil, going to enemy territory in Poland. It's a bit different, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's blessing and curses in all of it. I think it's, obviously, going to give the other guy a little bit of hometown advantage. But for me, it gives me an opportunity to go out and, make a statement on away soil. So, yeah, looking forward.
Mm. Is that the blessing that you mentioned there, something that you've really not had yet in your career, but something that you're thriving going into someone's backyard and showing them what you're about in a different region?
Definitely, I think it'll be great. I think it's a great way to win a world title. Go to someone's backyard and get the victory.
Mm. As you mentioned, the world title going up to Bridgerweight now. It's been what, a year since the Billum Smith fight. How is the almost a year? I think 11 months actually. How has the 11 months been for you, and what did you sort of take away from that fight and in between? Then did you were the lessons that you learned maybe ones that you've never had to learn before, or is it something that you maybe weren't too familiar with?
Oh, obviously losing is never good. So, I just had to work on certain stuff that was showing up, not just in that fight, but in some other fights I've had. But we've just been working on that kind of stuff, how to avoid holding and how to avoid, certain shots and just, being ready to get to work.
Mm. Does it feel like 11 months ago? Because time has sort of whizzed by. Maybe when you're out the ring, I don't know if it feels. Maybe you had other things to focus on. Maybe it feels longer. Does it feel like that longer?
Uh yeah, no, I mean obviously during the period it's long, but now that I'm ready for another fight, it's like anything, it's like, okay, cool, on to the next.
Mm. One of obviously the big stories is was you parting ways with SugarHill. I know you've spoke about it and said, look, it's been good terms, and I think you've partnered with Joe Gallagher since. So what was the sort of decision for you to do that? Because again, as you said, it was an amicable split and no ill will between you guys, but maybe you just needed a change.
I think it's more so logistics as well. I trained with Joe in Saudi, sparring Joseph Parker, and I liked how he was operating in the corner, which I think is probably one of the most important parts. And then I liked the sort of stuff that we were working on when we were training together, so we just kind of went from there.
Mm. What were those sparring sessions like with Joe? Was that before he fought Wilder and any preparations with him recently?
No, just before he boxed Wilder, yeah, they were fine. So obviously sparring, and I always, you know, um, I've been in there with top guys. I've been a world champion myself, so it's just sparring.
What did you make of Joe's, recent performances? Because he's sort of right back in the mix now and established himself as a top heavyweight. He's turned over sort of a new leaf, hasn't he?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, the same thing that you just said. I just look at it as, he's come back with a bit of fire, good performances and momentum, and I think that's one thing that's really important in boxing is momentum, having fights and just being used to being in the ring and learning from each fight and going on. Yeah.
Mm. Obviously, the next opponent is Rosanski, 15-0. I think 14 of those come by KO. Do you even really care about his past fights? Do you watch? I don't know how much sort of tape study you do on a guy like him, or is it more because you've been out the ring for 11 months, you think I need to focus on myself rather than what Lucas does?
A mixture of the two. It's hard to take from his fights because he's just there, blowing everyone away in a few rounds. So it's hard to watch it and say, oh, I should do this or do that, especially because he doesn't box anyone sort of with my sort of style. So, yes, I've watched tapes early. Now, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens on the day.
Mm. I think a couple of weeks after your fight, uh, former opponent Billum Smith will be back in the ring against Riek Bore. Is that, I know you're going up to Bridgerweight now, but is that one that you're going to be watching closely, and how do you think that goes?
Well, I won't watch it closely. I'll just watch it just because I think Chris should win as long as he doesn't get stopped.
And obviously, it's a big couple weeks for boxing. In general, we got in just under, I think, just over 3 weeks actually. We got Fury Usyk. We just had the Garcia Haney fight, which was pretty crazy. I'll start with the Fury Usyk one. What are your predictions on that? Has that changed at all? Maybe from a couple months ago, it's supposed to be February. A lot of people think maybe it will go differently now because of the cut. Do you think that or not?
No, I think Fury should win. I think he's a talented sort of boxer, big guy, good boxing brain, and I think he'll be able to adapt if the fight's not going his way. So I think Usyk's very, very good, but I think a lot of the stuff he does well, he'll struggle to do against someone the size and you know skill level of Fury. But every time you bet against Usyk, he's coming strong on another side. But then same with Fury, so yeah, it'll be a good fight.
Hmm. Do you think that really, obviously, everyone just boils it down to the fact that Usyk is so good, but so is Fury, and they always say like a good big and is always going to beat a good little. And do you see it as that way too?
Yeah, and then also, the age factor, that Usyk's now 36, so I don't think he'll have the same legs for the whole 12 rounds that he had when he was 29 or 31 or whatever. So if that plays a factor in the fight and he has to hold his feet more, I think he's now sort of fallen into the heavyweight kind of track where his main attribute has been movement and stuff like that. He also hasn't been as active maybe as Fury in the recent months, so it'll be interesting to see.
Hmm. Do you think that is sort of the case? Because obviously we see it with heavyweights, they can go sort of later into their career and even fight into their 40s. But someone with Usyk and his style, maybe age is against him in the fact that he's known for moving around the ring so well, but that's not obviously going to deteriorate with age. Would you say?
Yeah, no, definitely, I would say that. I think with Fury and Usyk, it's just Usyk's a fantastic boxer, but I do think that like his style is based a lot on conditioning, on slipping and just pivoting round and keeping the other person just missing, just missing, just missing. But I don't know how that would play a factor in a fight where he has to go looking for Fury as opposed to Fury coming looking for him. So be interested.
Mm. And going on to just this year, starting with this one in a couple of weeks, what are your sort of plans? Do you lay out like a roadmap for the year, or do you maybe just take it one fight at a time?
Yeah, now I'm going to take it one fight at a time. I have the opportunity to be a two-weight, two-time world champion. So, yeah, I just focus on that, and then we'll see what happens as and when.